Klaas, please have a seat. Now, we know each other for a long time.
I've actually been to the first NOAH, I think,
That's
with
scary.
Gameforge back then.
Did it get a little better over the years?
Significantly bigger, better, faster, awesome. Great job, by the way.
Okay. Well, we do try to improve. Now, what do you feel like being best in? Investing or growing companies, setting them up and scaling them?
Well, that's a tough question. I've been doing both. I was doing kind of okay in both, so I guess I would like not to decide because there actually are synergies. So
there are synergies?
Both together is probably the best way to approach it.
Oliver Zamwer from Rocket, he said yesterday that he's an investor, but because he has been an entrepreneur, he detects good investors very quickly and he can work with them and add value. Would you consider having this edge as well as a very successful entrepreneur?
That's one of the things, and particularly when it comes to games where most of my investments are at, it's just I can judge the product, I can judge the processes, I have a feeling if they are doing things right or not and if they are the right team. So in particular with being an entrepreneur, but even more particular with the games industry, I guess.
Wonderful. And talking about investments, what was your best?
Money-wise, my best investment clearly was Supercell. I invested in them very early stage, and they were sold to SoftBank, I think at a 5-point-something billion valuation, are now rumored to be sold to Tencent at a 9 billion valuation. So that was my best investment money-wise. Time-wise, I guess the company I'm currently building, flaregames.
And I think we should do some advertisement for our Axel friends. I believe that they were an investor or are an investor in Gameforge, one of your earlier companies. And then they liked working with you and they invited you into the deal and some of the proceeds from Gameforge you used to invest. And yeah,
it was a smart choice.
You had the right friends here.
Yes, I did.
No, congratulations on that one.
Thank you.
Now, what are you doing now?
I am building a mobile games publisher. The industry changed dramatically over the last years. It matured significantly, and the days of self-publishing developers are over. Especially in the free-to-play segment, you need a huge amount of infrastructure and talent and people to really leverage the awesome game that a developer is building. And that is something that, from a business case, doesn't pay off for a single developer anymore.
And how is flaregames doing?
Tremendously well. We are in a great place. We built our publishing organization and our portfolio over the last 2 to 3 years, and now we are in a stage where we call 2016 our harvesting year.
It's like in this farming game, harvesting. It reminds me, you know.
In this case, it means.
Does it still exist? This farming game of Zynga?
Farmville, yeah,
Farmville,
yeah, it does, but tinier than it was before, and its best days, obviously. No, it's basically we started developing a whole bunch of games, and 2016 is the year of shipping them. And we have been very successful doing so.
And shipping is not putting them in a box.
No, it's not putting them in a box. It's putting them online for everyone to see, play, and hopefully spend money. And we shipped 2 games so far, several more to come this year. We tripled our revenue on a monthly basis since January. We are cash flow positive and profitable, so it's a good time.
Well, I asked a serial entrepreneur recently, do you consider yourself as a serial entrepreneur? And he answered, I consider myself as an entrepreneur. So
I would answer the same.
I like that answer a lot. So let's talk about the game sector. As you may know, our main business is M&A, and we did help 2 investors to buy into BigPoint. I'm not naming them now because they just recently got their debt back. I don't think the equity. So I don't want to make it too much of a thing, but we worked a lot with online games, and I guess we got a little bit frustrated about the volatility, right? You never really know which games hit. The game development costs seem to rise. It's harder to get talent and to retain them. And then the marketing side, similar, tricky, right? You have to be really good in acquiring users. So do you agree with the view that in order to have a successful gaming business, online games business, or mobile games business, which is all mobile by now almost, you need to be able to strike off both sides, the development and the marketing side?
Definitely. The approach we take with our in-house studios as well as the external developers we are working on is actually more a co-development approach than what a typical publisher of games does. So it's, we are very much involved in the development and tweaking and building the systems of the game themselves, while the developer still is like the creative lead on the whole game development project. We spar with them, we challenge them if the game is good enough to retain users long enough and deliver the lifetime values that you need to be able to profitably scale them. And then on top of that, and that's what makes the industry so difficult, it matured quite rapidly over the last years, driven by like big players like Supercell, for example, who are spending money on user acquisition like crazy. And that makes it harder for everybody else.
We once had lunch, and like 6-7 years ago, so it's verjährt, I guess. But you did tell me, like, on that day, I only give percentages, like, they spend 100% on marketing, and then, maybe that percent doesn't work. Anyway, like, they have a huge marketing budget, and then profits post-marketing, even before all the other costs, if marketing is cost of goods sold, was like razor thin, and I guess it was land-grabbing time. Have margins of these big companies, I mean, King.com was public, once like flaregames in like 4 or 5 years, how much would marketing or should marketing be in percent of revenues, if you can say something?
We are aiming at something like 30 to 40%.
Okay.
If we have a great business case and where we really see it works, we obviously do more. The difficulty here is that the CPI is raised dramatically. And so it only pays off if you really have a game that holds and monetizes the users for a very, very long time. So you make your money back over a long time period. For that, you need awesome retention in the game.
Is that like the wishful thinking aspect?
No, that's basically Clash of Clans.
Or the networking?
That's basically Clash of Clans. I mean, that's what they are living off. Users stay for month and month and month and month.
Like O-Game, is that still?
O-Game from Gameforge.
Not switched off the servers yet?
Not quite the opposite. I think May this year was the best month of the game since it exists, which was 2001. So
I tell you, this gaming industry, I mean, you saw the presentation from Vuga. It is really, really a very interesting thing to understand. There's lots of KPIs. And, well, I'm very happy that, you know, because you're really not just successful, you're a great, pleasant person to have as a friend. I'm very successful that, you know, you made it once again. Well, so, just last question. What do you want to do with flaregames, like in the long term? Have you thought about it?
Well, first of all, I want to build an awesome company.
We already have that.
Yeah, but it can be more awesome. I mean, you always have like some shortcomings. Awesomer.
Awesomer.
Yeah. No, I mean, seriously, I don't like entrepreneurs who kind of build a company to exit. I think that's a completely wrong approach. I want to build something that is great and that fills a gap in the marketplace where there is significantly growth opportunity and an opportunity to have some influence on a huge market. That is what I'm trying to build. We still have a lot of stuff to do, a lot of great games to ship, a lot of great developers to work with, and we have still a lot to learn. But we are on a good track, and now we will execute for the next 2 to 3 years, and then we will see where we are.
Well, we should talk then. Klaas, thank you so much for coming to NOAH once again.
Thanks so much, man.
Thank you.